Hello, good evening everyone. Thank you for joining. I would like to introduce the speaker of today's webinar, Mr. Nilesh Desai. He is an founder and CEO of MSME Analytics. He is an MSME expert and is the author of the book The Unexplored Gold Mine, The Opportunities in the Revival of the Sick MSMEs. Mr. Desai has widespread knowledge in MSME and he is working towards increasing the operational efficiency of the MSME units. He is fond of writing daily newsletters to spread awareness about the MSME's world. Mr. Desai has a wide experience in the engineering industries. He is a member in various committees and represents the interests of MSMEs. He has traveled extensively and has business association in Australia. In the month of March, we had an seminar in Balavikas Kendra where Mr. UK Deputy High Commissioner Dr. Andrew Familin visited our stall and he has praised Mr. Desai sir for his book An Unexplored Gold Mine. I would request Mr. Desai sir to continue the webinar.
Thanks everybody for joining. Today I am going to talk about 5 ways technique for MSME. This may be little new for many of my MSME friends, but this is a very interesting topic. Next slide, please. Next slide. See the technique as a pictorial representation. Why, that gets you to a root cause. I may have repeating this many times because we are always working as a jugaad and we don't go to root cause and that problem reoccurs. So many times similar presentation I may repeat so that you can understand the concept from concept level itself. Next, please. Introduction of this topic. We Indians are dreaming to become 5 trillion economy by 2025 and 10 trillion by 2028-30. And with 139 crore people, strong demographic dividend is in sight. Our average age is about 29 years. That gives a lot of positive signals to world for look towards India as manufacturing hub. China was the manufacturing hub, but slowly with China plus one strategic is coming up after particularly COVID and more after these geopolitical tensions in Russia, Ukraine, and many such events which are there. So all multinationals and many companies are looking towards India as a supply source. Indian MSME and others have to work towards this contribution to this dream. This dream of reaching $5 trillion, every stakeholder has to contribute to this in whatever might it can do. So that is why MSME as a 6.35 crore units has to take a leadership role to see that we reach this dream of $5 trillion economy. There are various reasons. If we become $5 trillion economy, our poverty level will go down. Our co-brothers and sisters will have a better lifestyle. So all MSME has responsibility to look beyond obvious. All have to improve productivity with quality at lowest cost possible to increase customer delight and to conquering the world market. See, all our Indian MSME has to think larger geographical reach for their product, so that requires continuous reduction in cost and increase the quality, so that they can get larger market share. To achieve this, there are many ways, and with one possible way is to reduce process inefficiencies. See, process inefficiencies, if we reduce, we will reduce the cost of production and identify process inefficiency and start taking right action. This is very clearly has to be done. Next slide, please. As our MSME are small labor oriented, the need to start immediately to march toward $5 trillion economy. See, our MSMEs are generally more labor oriented. If you look to their balance sheet for any manufacturing sector, with the where they supply the component, labor cost, wage cost will come to somewhere around 5% to 13% of their total cost. So this requires that we will have to become more efficient, reduce the process inefficiencies. And where to start? That is the question. We can learn from other countries evolution of their manufacturing capacities. So today I will start with Japan. In 1930, Mr. Toyoda started with 5Y technique, and later Mr. Taichi Ohono followed in Toyota production system in 1950. So Toyota production system has become a system by itself, followed till today, 70 years later also after that. And it is necessary to be part of global value chain. We as an MSME, we will have to be looking to be a part of global value chain. After COVID and geopolitical situation, supply chain has been disturbed. With China Plus One strategy and PLI scheme, many doors have opened for MSME sector. Earlier in one or two webinars on PLI and other things, I have emphasized this, that we will have to become very, very competitive, process efficient, and look into automation wherever are possible. The 5Y tool was originally developed in 1930 by Mr. Toyoda and later adopted by Mr. Ohono in Toyota production system. He encouraged his team to dig into each problem that arose until they found the root cause. Slowly and steadily, our MSMEs will have to move towards lean manufacturing and capture larger market share. 5Y is a simple tool to start the process. See, if you see our automobile ancillaries, many automobile ancillaries after Maruti has come in, has now lean manufactured certified. Many has achieved DMAC price of quality like our Sundram fasteners. So that all is indicating that our MSMEs are capable to slowly move towards lean manufacturing practices. It is a process, it is not the destination. It's a worldwide technique that is used by Toyota and many other companies today. 5Y technique is a very, very simple tool, and it is used today also in all manufacturing and service sector widely. And there is less awareness about 5Y techniques in our MSME. Next, please. It was introduced as a training staple in the Toyota production system in 1950s. Taichi Ohono encouraged his staff to explore problems firsthand until the root cause were found. Next, please. This is a pictorial representation of 5Y analysis. So when we start with a bigger problem and go on deeper, we will be able to find out a root cause, and then we can treat, so that again and again we don't face this repetitive correction. Next, please. What is 5Y technique? Unforeseen events or problems might occur in any process. Mostly things don't go as planned. When a problem arises within a project, team members often find a quick but temporary solution in order to overcome it. This is a general mental uh, uh, framework of a human. So we want to find out a quick but temporary solution. However, quick solutions become useless due to the complexity of the problem as the project progresses. This necessitates to find a permanent solution to avoid again repetition of the same problem. Next, please. 5Y technique is a simple tool that helps to eliminate problems by determining their root cause. Again and again, I am repeating the same thing. That this is a simple tool, can be used to any situation by asking frequently 5 whys. It is not restricted to 5 whys till we arrive at a root cause. 5 why is a technique used to determine the root cause of a problem by repeatedly asking the question why. Basically, the 5 whys relies on asking why several times to understand all the signs of a problem. This is third time I am repeating so that you can understand this is not a very complicated system. Next. See, this is a pictorial representation. Ask 5 whys, still ask until problem is, root cause is identified and the problem is resolved, so that again and again we don't come into repeating the same problem. This is a pictorial representation. Next, please. When to use 5 why techniques? The 5 why techniques can be used for troubleshooting, improvement, and problem solving purposes. Whenever a system or process does not work properly, this technique can be implemented. This technique directs you to track one or limited paths when in fact there might be several causes. In such circumstances, we may not be able to have 5 why more effectively. 5 whys is widely used because of its simplicity and flexibility. You can find the root cause quickly on the first try. Hence, when you spot a problem, try it before using a more detailed technique. The complex problems may be there, but if you take that complex problem into multiple small problems and try to work out root causes and then apply your this thing, there is a possibility of coming out with a long-term better solution. Next, please. How to perform 5 whys analysis. So this is generally in 4 or 5 steps it can be done. First thing, identify the problem. That is the first thing. Then around that, assemble a team. A team should be formed in order to conduct a brainstorming session to detect the root cause of the problem. To make the brainstorming more effective, team members should be familiar with the details of the problem. See, every human has got a different perception for a single problem. So if you assemble a team, there will be a brainstorming and there is a possibility of finding out a more optimum solution rather than a patchwork. Next, please. Step 2, define the problem. See, defining the problem clearly is the first thing in the 5 why technique that the team should do. In this step, the problem should be defined clearly and conscious problem statement should be written at this step. The scope of the problem should be determined. The scope of the problem should reflect the size and characters of the problem. Later slides I will be showing 2-3 case studies where this can be applied. Next, please. Step 3, ask why. material to address each at this stage. The master assigns the responsibility for the corrective action to the participant in the discussion. This is very clearly, next please. Note that there are no specific format used to document the Viva exercise. Some organizations use their own detailed format, others use various frameworks. These are all available on websites of Google or something. Step 5. Any solution has to be monitored for its effectiveness for some time. Suppose if there are some solutions which you have identified and taken a corrective action, and we will have to monitor so that the root cause is getting effective or not. That is the thing that till that we have to continue. To make Viva more effective, documenting all response will be a part of knowledge management. Today, knowledge management is getting a lot of importance for last 20, 30 years. And my MSME friends do not understand what is knowledge management. So we can have a different webinar on knowledge management and its effectiveness on MSME. But because of this documentation, when you prepare, starting from step 1 to step 4 and corrective action, whatever has been defined and taken action, if we keep that, that will become a knowledge resources available to the organizations. Next, please. This is a pictorial representation, process of 5 why techniques. Get a team together, define the problem, ask why, learn when to stop. This is very critical. See, once you are nearer to root cause, then you may have to stop. Or if you are feeling that still one more why is required, you have to go. Take corrective action. Corrective actions. This is most critical in whole exercise. Defining the problem and monitor. These are all very critical. While team is necessary to come up with a brainstorming many ideas, suggestions, many perceptions that will give that will probably bring the team on a single platform. Next, please. What is the 5 whys tool? 5 whys is a problem solving method that explores the underlying cause and effect of a particular problem. The primary goal is to determine the root cause of a defect or a problem by successfully asking the question why. The number 5 here comes from the antidote observation that 5 irritation of asking why is usually sufficient enough to reveal the root cause. In some cases, it may take more or fewer whys depending on the depth of root cause. Next, please. Benefits of 5 why technique. Help identify the root cause of a problem. It helps to identify more problems during the performance of 5 why analysis for a problem. It encourages team members to share their ideas and expertise. It is an effective tool. That is why that is very easy to use. It improves decision making. Understand how one process can cause a chain of problems. Determine the relationship between different root causes. Highly effective without complicated evaluation techniques. One of the simplest tools, easy to compete without statistical analysis. See, as we go in complex problem solving, statistical tools are becoming very important, more particularly when you are in a process of improving your quality system. But this will lead to the same thing. Next, please. Case study 1. They are giving 3 case studies. So why did the maintenance tech slip? Answer, there was an oil leak near the machine. So one maintenance fellow sleep on the floor. So the answer, there was an oil leak near the machine. That is the first root cause. Why why was there a leak? The second question, answer, a seal was deteriorated. Seal in the machine was deteriorated. Why the seal deteriorated? Answer, the seal was too weak for its application. Why was the seal too weak for its use? A cheaper seal was purchased. So here the purchase people have compromised on the quality and somebody has left. Why was a cheaper seal purchased? The answer, service manual did not specify the seal type. So for that machine, they have given a service manual in which they did not specify which kind of seal to be used. So when the specification is not available, the purchase manager went for a cheaper substitute, and this problem has come up. So basically, the problem lies in service manual did not. So this can be raised with the machinery supplier so that this kind of incident can be cannot be repeated in some other manufacturing unit who buys this machine. So this is leading to number of corrections. If you see that, and this is a simple thing, and it does not take more time if the team is well knowledgeable of the problem. Next, please. This is another case study. This is generally reflecting to personal thing, whether it can be applied for personal this thing. So somebody says I want to own my own business. So why do you want to do that? It will allow me to have greater control over how I spend my time. Why I do want to have that this? I can have more flexibility in my life. Why do you want that flexibility? I'll be able to work from home. Why that? Why do you want to do that? I'll be able to spend more time with my son or daughter. Why do you want to do that? Supporting my family is the most important thing to me. Now this is what is actually back of his mind to start his own business. And this gives a clarity. He wants to support his family members, that is growing son and daughter, so that they become a good citizens. So when this kind of questions are, suppose when I ask a fresher, how much money salary you want? Sir, I want plenty. Now that plenty has nothing as a statistical tool. If we can go further down, I want 10,000, 30,000, 3 lakhs is the answer. If you go in deep in that, then this kind of things will come up. Why he wants that particular, he may not be knowing. He may take somebody else is getting similar salary, so I should get. Whether he is capable or not, that all will come out on his capabilities, understanding. So it is also quite applicable to daily life in any situation. This is what I am trying to tell, where one might seek a deeper understanding of a problem, a challenge, or even a motivation behind an action. Here, he wants to start a business. So what is the motivation? Fifth point, he is able to get that most motivation. This quick graphing from start of happiness provides a great example. He wants to become happy. So this is giving a more broader picture why he wants to start his own business. Third one is a very interesting, but it is next. See, imagine the often humorous example of children continue asking why. After each answer you give them, just while driving down to the highway, your child may ask questions ranging from why is the moon not shining anymore, and why aren't there any clouds in the sky, or to why are we going to the grocery store. As annoying as this can be at times, from the ages of 2 to 5, kids may ask around 40,000 questions, with most of them being explanatory seeking in nature, according to Harvard-based child psychologist Paul Harris. The reason for this, it is not to annoy you, but rather they simply want an explanation. This is from a child perspective. And if we can get that kind of curiosity for our problem solving, we may come out with a root cause and take corrective action. Next, please. Any technique will have a limitation. So limitations for 5i technique. it doesn't always lead to the identification of the root cause when the cause is unknown to the team members. In other words, if the team doesn't have the necessary knowledge or expertise to identify the cause, no one will make much progress. So in such kind of situation, we can look for a consultant or a more experienced person. Then there may be a confirmation bias. This is a great psychological, you can say, a problem. And that is why the tendency of interpret new evidence as a confirmation of one's own existing belief or theories tend to be driving factor for some team members during analysis. Subject matter expert can help minimize the risk of one-sided conclusion while still having the knowledge to provide a fair analysis. Say a senior worker, he has been developed in a particular fashion for many years, and then he will have that this is the only solution. So he may say, and he may not accept anything else, thus limiting the possibility of coming out with a better solution. So that is a confirmation bias which is there in every human. Every human, maybe one year boy to 90 years, 95 years old also. This confirmation bias has to be weighed very critically, and this can be done by subject matter expert. Next. Summary of 5 whys technique. If you don't analyze the root cause of a problem properly, you cannot resolve it, and it would return back in another form. Repetitious issues are often the precedent of big problems. Although temporary solutions are easy to apply, they often become useless if the problem arises again and again. This is a very big challenge. Next, please. The advantage of sharing this information widely is that it gives everyone insight into the kinds of problems the team is facing, but also insight into how these problems are being tackled. And if the analysis is airtight, it makes it pretty easy for everyone to understand why the team is taking some time out to invest in problem prevention instead of new features. If, on the other hand, it ignites a firestorm, that is good news too. Now you know you have a problem. Either the analysis is not airtight and you need to do it over again and again, or your company doesn't understand why what you are doing is important. Figure out which of these situations are you in and fix it. This is a typical problem in our younger generation who are just passing out from the college and then they want to go. They do not know many things, but still they think that they are capable of doing this, capable of, that is why many interviews, they come out with a negative faces. This is because they are not identified what exactly they need in their life. This same situation can happen to everybody at every stage of life. Next, please. So that is bringing me to end of my presentation. So what we do, we do the analysis of, we have developed a tool known as Babaji's Business Analytics, Business Augmentation and Growth Information System. This is this does a balance sheet and profit and loss analysis free of cost to MSME sector. This can be, we can give you a dongle which is a free to you. You can add your data. You do not share any of your balance sheet data with us, but it will give you the reasons. And if you do it for 3 of your past balance sheet analysis or profit and loss, you will find out why certain things, because these balance sheets are on or profit and loss are on different sales figure, different this thing. So if you divide that into a single unit, your understanding of the ratios become critical, and that will help you to ask 5 whys. That is where the Babaji will bring it to a level and understand your performance far better. And we expect that with this knowledge, they will be able to utilize their available resources more optimally. And our belief is, if we can improve our operational efficiency by 5% year on year for next 3 years in the unit, without large capital cost, capex, you can improve low skill jobs in your unit, and that is why we are known as a social fintech startup. We do this free of cost. Then this can be done by you, and we give mentorship to startup and MSME units, and this is based on premium model. So we'll be charging you not for this balance sheet analysis, but when you want to go for further analysis of your day-to-day activity, and you want to be monitored by us, there will be we will be charging some fees on a monthly basis. The ultimate idea of this analysis is to develop Z-score for MSME to manage insolvency risk and also reduce the growth of NPA in banking sector. See, today, many MSME unit, the bankers give 90 days time to resolve, otherwise they declare them as NPA. But if that problem can be known that there is something going wrong in the unit and some weakness is developing, then you can take corrective steps much earlier, thus avoid your company going in NPA stage, and thus it will reduce the growth of NPA in a banking sector. We are passing through the tougher phase of our after COVID and this Ukraine-Russia war. Every central bank has given used a tool, a monetary tool to supply excess liquidity. And because of that excess liquidity, inflation has started going up. It is touching in India at 8%, in US 8%. So that is causing a larger damage to a poorer section of the society. So they are coming out with a policy to withdraw this easy liquidity. That is where this problem of insolvency will increase in MSME. That is where we will come into. We want to develop that tool. Next slide. See, we also are developing one HR intervention this thing. See, whenever any worker is taken in a factory, we take it on that his hard skill. But if over a span of time, it is found that if you have got 20 and above workers, their interpersonal skill, communication skill, problem solving skill, suggestion making skill, they are all becoming very critical for the growth of the unit. So we are trying to work on developing a questionnaire of about 20-30 questions, and on which we will take the interview of your existing workers, and we'll be able to, after 2 or 3 quarterly interviews, we'll be able to predict the possible rate of attrition, so that steps can be taken. We expect that this will increase the teamwork. Also, it will start building a culture of innovation, as well as improve quality continuously. This all will make you more competitive in the market, so that you can expand your market share in either local area, or you can expand to export. Export is necessary for India, as oil prices have gone up tremendously. So our balance of payment system is in a little troubled area, though we have got large foreign reserve this thing, but BOP, balance of payment, also is worrying all policy makers at different level. This is the second thing. This will also improve your operational efficiency and your wage bill. At a constant wage, you may find a productivity improvement of 5 to 8%, which will directly go to your bottom line. That may contribute 1 to 2% of your net profit. Next, please. Recently, we have been awarded by HICIA as one of the top 10 hottest startup in Hyderabad. Next, please. We also have been selected by Microsoft for a founder of program, and we anticipate that because of Microsoft and this ICA, we will be able to come out with various small low-cost tool, like many small units with a turnover range of 15-20 crores. They are not knowing that they are sitting on a gold mine of data. So if you go through my LinkedIn, 3 articles I have written how the customers that analysis can be done so that your marketing efforts can be improved or that results can be improved. Similarly on supply side and similarly on labor side, how to use data to improve your profitability and reduce your cost of manufacturing. Next, please. I am also a permanent resident of Australia, also a citizen of India. I am ready to offer my service as director for Australian companies who want to expand in India. Similarly, I am ready to offer my service for Indian companies to expand in Australia. And yesterday only I was reading, T-Hub has taken up 12 startups from Australia as a cohort. So if those 12 cohort, 12 Australian startups need any support for directorship, I am available for that kind of services. Next, please. Our next webinar will be Think Positive, Think Profit. That is our tagline also for SME Analytics. It will be held on 18/6/2022 at 4 p.m. Please participate in a big number. Now, next slide. I request everybody to subscribe to my YouTube channel for my past webinars and make that very live so that and distribute this to your friends and whoever are interested. That will help them to improve. That will be my contribution to the Indian economy for society. Next, please. These are my social media contacts. You can contact me on all these things. If you like, share, subscribe for YouTube. Next, please. Now floor is open for questions and answers. Thank you, everybody. I will answer the questions as asked by somebody. Who is going to ask? Louder.
Yes. So the first question is from Mr. Shivprasad sir. Process inefficiency. Please give example in area of production and HR.
Thank you asking. This question has many answers. See, first thing is many MSMEs, they make only mental process chart, which does not, which may be neglecting some of the areas which they do, but that has not been documented. So there may be a possibility of repeating that task again and again. See, as an example, I am not technological savvy. And if I want to answer my email, I have to take a printout and answer. Now, this is I can simply learn, or if my assistant works, these are the emails, they can bring out that only. So these can reduce the process inefficiencies. Many processes in efficiency are not identified because we do not draw a proper flow diagram. If we do flow diagram properly, then you will be able to understand which are the repetitive kind of jobs. When we do billing, after doing billing, we have to go to ledger, and from ledger to aging statement. If this process can be automated, or one or two steps can be reduced by either a software or a tool or something, it may reduce one accountant who in a 15-20 crore bill company where you are raising 500 to 1,000 invoices, that is 3 to 5 invoices per day. So there are many these things. So entrepreneur or his staff or his departmental head or somebody has to make a flow diagram. It may be possible. A purchase may have a different flow diagram, and sales may have a different flow diagram. Both may be doing similar function that can be identified and can be unified. So there are many things which can be done. I feel, see, in case of that Toyota, I will not go to this, but I'll go to give some standard example of Kaizans. Kaizans is a small improvement that which is part of Toyota production system, and later on, our Taj Hotel in Bombay, 400 staff comes at a time in the morning to join the duty. Now they have got a uniform. So 400 people, both ladies and gents, they have to change their dress. So for that, they have to come half an hour or 45 minutes early. And there will be some delay also sometime. This, when they identified and they changed that process by little different timing, and then annual saving maybe about 20 years back, which has come to about 60 lakhs per annum. Now this figure is astonishing. So you have to identify with minor modification when you go like adopting these 5 whys to Kaizen and complicated quality system to Six Sigma. Many such things will come. Many things may not be applicable to existing MSME, but if that mindset is developed in the top management, things become easier. Next, please. I hope I answered your question, Shiv Prasad ji. Next, please.
Another question from Mr. Shiv Prasad sir. Global value chain. Second question is global value chain. Big word for, please explain in simple word. Sure.
There are some questions from somebody outside also. You take that. See, Shiv Prasad ji, global value chain seems to be very complicated, this thing, but you have global means in the world, and chain is a supply chain. Global value chain means we can make some small components. Now, to give you an example, China is always interested to make mass production. And suppose you have got a Toyota car in, say, Australia, and one part has gone. China cannot replace that part, while India can do it very easily because we have not adopted this mass production system. So we can supply that this thing, maybe little costlier if China could have done. But China will not be able to produce that one component or two components because it is not economical for them to change the line of manufacturing. So these are the challenges where India can easily come in global value chain. See, if you read the paper consciously, a paper very detailed. Yesterday in Singapore, while going to Vietnam, our defense minister has given 12 high-speed boats to Singapore government. So we have become a part of defense supply now in the global value chain. India has got definite advantage of demography. We have to take that into our attitude. Next, please.
Another question from Mr. Ajit. Is this 5Y method can be exploited in every sectoral landscape as a problem solving paper?
Thank Mr. Rajit. Yes, as explained, I have given you daily life question. One entrepreneur, he wants to start his own business. When he analyzed, he realized that he wants to take care of their family, growing children. Similarly, when we are traveling with our own children in a car for in between 2 to 5 years, that is generally those children are asking 40,000 questions, and this is authenticated by Harvard. So it can be applied. Third case study which I have shown is for a slippage which has occurred, and one tech guy slipped. He may have injuries. It can be fat. I have tried to cover a very wide spectrum, and I have also mentioned any problem. Basically, what happens, we have become practically hard skill, and we don't go into that this is a problem. We just a mosquito has come and I beat it. That is a simple thing, but we don't go why mosquito has come. My nets are not there, or this thing, and I am going in a danger of getting malaria or some trouble because of mosquito bite. So this can be applied every stage of life. About a couple of days back, I was traveling with my colleague, and we were discussing on this. If my car has got a problem and it stopped in the way, then if I go on 5Y, I ask my driver, what is the problem? Some service did not get it done. Why service did not get it done? Because there was no money available. Why the money was not available? Then I go through that, and I am very slow in collecting money with my customer because I have got certain liquidity or I have neglected that area. So if I take correction on getting my receivables faster, these kind of problems I could avoid in getting the car service. So and practically, because this is a simple tool, you don't have to buy any instruments or this thing. You have to first identifying a problem, a right problem is the basic thing. And then either you can do it yourself, or if the problem is in a teamwork, you can assemble a team and do it. And you will find surprising results, not only for root cause. How many of your team members are active to give suggestions or help you to perceive? That will give a different, as somebody, Mr. Sriprasad asked a question. These 5Y techniques can be used for every possible situation. Only thing is you try to identify the problem as narrow as possible. Thank you. Next, please.
Sir, there is a thank you message from the Dinesh Desai. Thank you very much. Excellent presentation.
Dinesh ji, namaskar. Kem cho? Dinesh ji, are you online? See, we have to continue our discussion for creating that mini India in Australia, meow.
Another message from G.K. Vijendra. Thank you for sharing this information. Found it useful as far as PQM is concerned. Congratulations for winning some prestigious award such as ICA.
Thank you, sir.
Another question, sir. Sundaram Clayton, please share some practices in PQM.
Say, sir, if you permit me, if you are in Hyderabad-based company, I know Sundaram Clayton is not here based, you are in Chennai, but if given an opportunity, I have got a knack for common sense approach rather than using big words like TQM, TPM, the Six Sigma, DPAM and all that. You see, my approach is, yes, our MSMEs are not doing, you're a large unit, but still, in one single visit, I can bring out 10 new things which are hidden under carpet. Please give us that kind of opportunity. I'll be happy to come and give you that 10 things in your shop floor in 5-6 hours visit. Thank you.
One more question. In 5Y action team, what are the different roles, which leader group or leaderless group?
Sir, as far as that should be a leader, can be a worker who is there, or the person who has found out the problem, he can be made a leader. We don't need, there should be a prime minister or a chief minister or things like that. Anybody who is ready to take lead, write down the problem, suggestions, and help them to come with more questions. 5 whys means 5 times roughly we have to ask, so that we can come to root cause of the problem. Once the root cause is known, we can take action to solve that, so that future repetition of similar things may not happen. Next. So next week on which date? Which date? 18th, we will be having a webinar on think positive, think profit. The idea is MSME per se. Many times the entrepreneur goes in a negative gear, and how to not to go in that negative gear and try to apply 5Y techniques or many other techniques which will help him to not to come into problem area. We will be discussing that on next 18th of June. Please participate in large number. Thank you, everybody.